Grab your big book, your pen, your highlighter, and notepad and get ready to hear and apply some of the solution from the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous through the experience, strength, and hope of Nikki M. To have a question addressed in a future episode of Noodle It Out with Nikki, please send an email to noodlewithnikki@gmail.com, and Nikki is spelled with 2 Ks. To get a more interactive experience with Nikki as she noodles out life and recovery questions using the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous, you can get a link to her weekly Noodle It Out with Nikki meeting held live on Zoom every Monday morning at 9 o'clock Eastern Time. The information to that meeting is in the show notes of this podcast. God morning, God afternoon, and God evening to all. My name is Justin B. I am a son of an all-powerful and all-loving God and a qualifying addict in multiple fellowships, striving to live in the miracle of recovery. And I'm here with the intelligent agent, spearhead of God's ever-advancing creation, and my co-host, Nikki M. Nikki, please take a minute and introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. I am Nikki M., an intelligent agent, spearhead of God's ever-advancing creation. And the reason I said that slowly, Justin, is I want to watch my words. I'm realizing that my words, my spelling, it casts spells. I really got to watch it. So, the book, I started Noodle with Nikki this morning out. Like, what does the book say? It says, well, when I'm speaking publicly, I'm to introduce myself as a member. And I just think when people are constantly, and my boyfriend brought this to my attention, Nikki, you're always saying, you don't understand. I'm an addict. Well, then you're always going to stay that way. How about you're just the most beautiful child of God I've ever seen? I'll take that too. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Nikki, for bringing that in. That's very helpful this morning. I'm grateful to be part of this and other RICO 12 projects with you and with others. It's a great place to be. We invite all those out there in the listening audience to check out the other RICO 12 services, the flagship weekly speaker meeting, Big Book Roundtable that Nikki and I do with David G. There's some great things going on here. And we are grateful to be a part of that and hopefully be used as an instrument in God's hands to carry this message to others out there who are sick, who are seeking solutions. And that's what we're doing in this conversation here with Nikki. We take everyday issues, problems, questions that may come up in recovery and may come up in life and take them to the Big Book, where Nikki runs through the Big Book to find solutions that are in there. And that's what we'll be doing today. I have a question that, and this is a situation that I'm bringing to Nikki here, and we'll see what the book says here. So Nikki, the Big Book on page 164 says, God will constantly disclose more to you and to us. Now, what do you do when this disclosure opens up a massive blind spot that I was blind to before, where my addictive actions turn out and are still alive and well, even after years of thinking and experiencing happy, joyous, and free? All of a sudden, a new thing is disclosed that just shakes my whole world. What do I do then? What does the book say?
All right. Well, let's get properly armed with the facts. We're starting here. I'm just taking some notes here, and I want to say page. Let's just go to page 118. Because it said, and then I want to put this page because I want to visit it too after 135. Okay, so page 118, everybody, we work out of the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous, 4th edition. And I just want to start with, we all have gifts. That's why God, this power, these spiritual principles will constantly, that means all the time, disclose more. It will disclose more gifts, not just more addictions you have, Justin. We've been programmed to thinking that, this is a program, and you've been programmed by society, by school, by your family. You come from a tight religious community and part of the world. So you have a lot of programming going on. So God, people who don't like the word God, it's just a word, but we can put the spiritual principles, or you could put this power, will constantly means all the time. It will disclose more to you and to us. So it doesn't say good and bad. It will just be more will be being disclosed. And why? Page 118 says, alcoholism It says, at such moments, the very bottom sentence, at such moments like right now, Justin, where there's a lot coming at us and in the world, the entire world, everybody. Today is April 8th, 2024. And there's a solar eclipse in our world. There's energies. Don't forget, we're frequencies, energies, vibrations are moving about us. And so at such moments when things are really crazy in our world, we forget that alcoholism, addiction, being separated from this power is an illness, which that's Justin B, Nikki M, could not possibly have had any power. So we have no power. So God has to constantly disclose more to us. And that's why you just said, Justin, about your addiction. Maybe some more things are coming. Me too. I don't realize. Recently, I think I told you, I don't think we recorded last week, but I got some really bad news on Easter Sunday. Real bad news. Okay. And so I haven't had something like that in 20 years. 20 years later, I have had a profound alteration in my reaction to life. I have had that's the promise on page 567 of the spiritual experience. And that's where we're all trying to get to. That when God discloses more, we have a profound alteration in our reaction to life. Why? Well, page 18 says we're armed with the facts. So we know. Page 112 said we have read this book. So Justin, we know we're in a progressive illness. See, we need God more today after a decade of being in the rooms than we did our first day, because now God has disclosed more. We have more responsibility. You and I were just speaking before you hit record that we have a lot of responsibility just in the recovery community. I had 130 people on Noodle today. I can't just say I'm not showing up. We have a lot of people that come to our podcast to come to your weekly Friday meeting. We can't just not show up. So page 135 says here, and I love this. It says, here is a case in point. One of our friends, I'm going to use you as an example, Justin. And this is not Justin's story, everybody, but we're just going to use real life scenarios. And it's just me. Oh, we're in a meeting right now where 2 or more people are gathered in my name as a meeting. And we're gathered in this power of love. So we're here in a meeting. So it's just me and Justin. One of our friends, let's say his name is Justin B. He's a heavy, let's use Nikki. Nikki's a heavy scroller. Nikki's a heavy smoker. Justin, whatever your addictions you're doing, maybe you're acting out in different things. I don't know, you're doing this, you're doing that, because the main addiction's been removed. Maybe the alcohol has been removed. Maybe the drugs, maybe that man, that food, that pornography has been removed. But still, Justin and I are on social media too much, scrolling too much. Maybe we're heavy, we're smokers. Maybe we're drinking too many Monster drinks. Who the hell knows? There's no doubt that Nikki and Justin see we're overindulging. And seeing this, meaning to be helpful, hey, Justin has a wife. Maybe his wife is starting to admonish him, give him a hard time, nag. How about this? Maybe Justin's wife isn't doing it and he is self-flogging, self-loathing. He's doing it. He's admonishing himself about it. My boyfriend will do that to me. He'll tell me, when I go to Luxembourg, there is no smoking, there is no caffeine, there is no phone. Because he gets on me about it. And I know I can't. And I admit that I overdo these things when I'm in Toronto. Justin, you admit you overdo these things. But frankly, and this is the truth of my last 3 addictions, I'm not really ready to stop. This week, I had to stop my doom scrolling, Justin, because of the news I got on Easter. I can almost guarantee my mind had been so deep into the dark web, into what's going to happen, not into God's word, into other things that I should be not doing, blotting out the consciousness of my existence. And I just disclosed more to myself and to the world that these things can happen because I was thinking about these things. My thought life was not placed on a much higher plane. It was placed in a very low vibration. See, remember our thought life. will be placed on a much higher plane, says step 11. So anyway, let's keep going over this, and then I want to hear some things from you. But frankly, Justin and I are not ready to stop. How about this, Justin? Maybe you can't stop one of these addictions. You don't even, you just said, it's out of the blue. You're seeing this new addiction pop up. And his wife, Justin's wife, Nikki's boyfriend, Mr. Luxembourg, we're these people, and we feel there's something rather sinful about doing these things. How about there's something sinful about these commodities? How about there's something sinful about just thinking about these things? So we nag ourselves, we self-flog, our partners nag us, my sponsor nags me, and my intolerance, Justin's intolerance of himself. How about of the world? We just said the world is in a state right now. And I hope if you're listening to this in 2034, you look back and go, whoa, Nikki was right. The world was a little crazy then. My intolerance is going to finally throw me into a fit of anger, line out, resentment. And on page 66, the resentment will kill me. It says it's poison. And I finally Justin finally gets drunk. Justin's never had a drink in his life, but Justin starts acting out in ways that aren't lined up with God's will. I'm not going to go get drunk. I've had drinks. That just doesn't work for me, Justin. And I don't like to feel like that. That's the reality. I have the power of choice, and I'm not going to go do it, but I'm going to do other things like doom scroll. Then I'll visualize losing everything. And maybe that might come true because I've been thinking about it so much. You see, this is so next level. And then let's just read this. And then what happens? You and I start getting weird. And then, of course, our friend Justin and Nikki, we admit we're wrong. And we have to painfully admit it. And we have to mend these spiritual fences. But Justin, you and I we are effective members of really any anonymous we go into. We really are. There's our promise. Even though, Justin, you still do these things, even though Nikki smokes and drinks coffee and doom scrolls, but no one nags me about it. My boyfriend does not judge me, and I know your wife doesn't. It's us who are judging ourselves. And we see we are wrong to make a burning issue out of these matters because our more serious ailments have been cured. Rapidly cured. And so these three models, let's sit and talk about these, Justin, because you said, what happens when God discloses more and these other things crop up, the whack-a-mole. Well, first things first, Justin. How about live? You're just learning to live. So why don't we live others, ourselves, and ask God what we do? And easy does it, Justin, because you came here on your knees dying, sir. And this is not an overnight matter. Page 84, how about it must continue for your lifetime? Why? Page 30 says, Justin, you and I are in a grip of a progressive illness. We get worse, never better. See, we need the program more today than we've ever needed it. Make sense?
It does. And it brings me back. Thank you, Nikki. It brings me back to, I think it was about 2 months ago, one of the Rico 12 speaker meetings. Someone spoke. I can't remember her name off the top of my head, but one of the phrases, she was full of one-liners. And one of the one-liners she said was new level, new devil. And what she meant by that is as I'm continuing to progress in recovery, as I get to a new level, there's a new counter power against that progression that's happening. And to counteract that new devil on that new level, I need a new God. I need to understand God in a new way to give me that power that I don't have on that next level. And I think that's one of the things that is really powerful. I mean, and you reiterated that a few different ways in what you just shared, that this is a lifeline. This should continue for my lifetime. And I should continue on this in that growth process and everything like that. So any additional thoughts on that, Nikki?
Well, okay. New level, because that's translated into the big book for what we just said. See, we're in the grip of a progressive illness. The progression is a new level, right? And then it says a new devil. We get worse, never better. because we're in the grip. See, it's a new level constantly. And then I have another thought on that page 85, which says, let me just turn there. See, they don't mince words in the big book. This is a design for living. And page 15 says that works in rough going. So you know that things are coming for you. But here it is. It says page 85. It says, and I'll just put a side note on page 30 because we were just talking about it. It says you have to smash the idea that you're like anyone on the planet. And you have to do that every day. I hope everyone's line out says you need to smash the idea. That's where I've been really being rocketed, because I'm not like, even in the rooms, I'm not like anybody. I'm even beyond. Remember, Justin, you and I see where religious people are, right? Page 87. There are many helpful books, page 87. I have a book says that I am created in God's perfect image. Now, if I'm created in God's perfect image and you are, our skin colors don't match, our hair type doesn't match, you're a man, I'm a woman. Go deep here. So that means deep down inside is a God in you and a God in me. But don't say there's God. You know, that's what our book says. It says God's inside of us. So you are a God. That sounds very radical. Remember, we're asked to sweep away old conceptions. We have old programming. That's very radical to say I've tapped power. Isn't that what my friend said? Tell the mountain to move and it will move. I mean, let's all meditate there. You speak it. Let's go deep. Words matter. So page 85 says, it's easy to let up. See, this is where it is. It's very easy to let up on a spiritual program of action and rest on your laurels. Laurels, get complacent. Laurels, get complacent. Don't do what you need to do. This is Google what laurels are. It's so easy to let up on it and do nothing. Laurels is being satisfied with past success. Are you satisfied with your past success, everybody? I'm certainly not, because I'm a spearhead. This book is layers and layers. So it says, Justin, you're headed for trouble if you do. If you do what? If you get satisfied with past successes. Why? Because alcoholism, your addiction. Should I tell you? I don't know if you were on Noodle this morning, but I read what this book says. It says the acts of the flesh are obvious: sexual immorality, impurity, debauchery, idolatry. I like to worship myself, witchcraft, hatred, discord, jealousy, fits of rage, selfish ambition, dissension, how about this? Envy. How about this? Drunkenness, orgies, the like. Oh, I've never been in an orgy. No, you like to watch them. There you go. And here's the warning. Those who live like this will not inherit, well, they say the kingdom of heaven, but how about you won't inherit freedom, happiness, joy? So if you want here, because we're not cured, I'm on page 85 of our big book, right? We get a daily reprieve. And what does that daily reprieve look like? Well, the other book I was just reading says it's called the fruit of the Spirit, right? I get love, I get joy, I get peace, I get kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentle. I get self-control when I maintain my spiritual condition. How do you maintain your spiritual condition, Justin? Step 11, you improve conscious contact. Because every day is a day when Justin and Nikki M, our sponsees, our sponsors, our fellows, everybody must carry the vision of God's will into all. Circle all our activities. This is not for the faint of heart, Justin. And that's why, we talked about page 30 when you just said about your friend, new level, new devil. That's why it says many pursue it to the gates of insanity or death. This is, I don't want to go dark or twisted on people, and we don't do it perfectly, but this is not for the faint of heart. This is nothing new. God is not a new concept for faith in power greater ourselves or facts as old as mankind himself, says our big book. So this is nothing new. Your parents, your grandparents, go deeper. The first humans, We've all had these struggles, and we've all forgotten that deep down inside of us is this power. And Justin, if you knew your blueprint for life, remember we talked about it, you'd run from the table and I'd be like, who's going to record Noodle? Justin saw what's going to happen to his future. And there's great things, but there's some ugly things too. And the most beautiful thing is, Justin, you got a grandbaby. Come on, we're going to focus on him.
Yeah. No, that's beautiful. And Nikki, this has been very helpful. I think, well, it's been helpful for me. And I think that that higher power is speaking through you and hopefully through us as we send this out to the universe to be here. You know, this will post in a handful of probably a couple of months from now, but it will be out there forever. And hopefully people will be able to gain some peace in times of struggle, because they happen. All right. Well, I think we'll wrap that up here, unless you have any final thoughts before we wrap this up, Nikki. Any final thoughts?
Well, as I'm looking at my big book, let's just go here, everybody. I say it, but we repeat ourselves a lot, just like they do in school, just like Bart Simpson does on the chalkboard when he has to write something bad. We got to repeat this all the time. So everybody, to the people in the back, God has 3 answers for me. Yes, Nikki. That's number 1. Yes, Nikki. Number 2, not now, Nikki. Number 3, I have something better for you, Nikki. See, God never says no. It's a loving Father, the creator of the universe, all powerful, all loving God, your God, a God of your understanding, the power of the universe, that frequency that you're tapping into, that energy, that higher consciousness. Yes, not now. The universe is saying to you, be patient. I have something better for you. Boop, boop, be-doo.
Thank you, Nikki. This is a program that works in times of, well, the certain times of trial, low spots and difficulties and trials. It works. Keep coming in. Sit all the way down. Work it. You are worth it.